With GTA 6 on the way, many people are eagerly waiting for more info, news, and actual footage of the game, just so we can itch that anticipation scratch that we all have that's gonna be with us for around a year and a half, unless the game is getting further delayed into 2026, which I hope will never happen. If it comes to it, just let Rockstar cook. The community, which consists of amazing and talented people, have managed to create and continuously work on a little project you might have heard about called VI mapping, which uses a lot of the information we currently have about the game from the trailer itself, as well as the September 2022 leaks, which combined managed to give us multiple renditions of the map to give us a decent idea on how the final map could look like. As of right now, the map's latest update was made on April 29th of 2024. And this version right here will remain the most up-to-date one we have until some possible screenshots for the game are released, which should give us more to talk about and speculate, but most importantly, it would also hopefully give the amazing people who are working on this mapping project more info to work with, which could result in a newer and more accurate rendition of the map. And of course, a second trailer would be miles better for the mapping project, as it could touch upon areas that we currently have zero clue about, like the northernmost part of the map, which is currently just a massive amount of empty landmass. But personally, looking at this map gets me more excited for the game in a multitude of ways. First and foremost, the community managed to recreate the map of GTA 5's Los Santos with around an 85 to 90% accuracy before it released, which means that whatever version will be created a couple of months before the actual release of GTA 6 will look almost identical to the version we see in the game, which is really impressive. And again, shout out to all the legends that map both GTA 5 and GTA 6 before their release. The second thing that gets me excited for GTA 6 is the actual layout of the map, which already gives us a decent idea of how driving around the map can work, and the possibility of multiple routes to one location. The biggest issue of GTA 5's map has to do more with the online mode, which frankly I'm not the biggest of GTA Online players, but in the limited amount of time that I've spent running around in it, I noticed a frustrating pattern for a lot of the missions. Almost every mission you do in this game starts from Los Santos, requiring you to go from the specific spot you're in to a point B, which is almost always on the outskirts of the city, or all the way up north into Blaine County, which leads to a very boring and repetitive drive, usually done on the Los Santos highway, with little to no variation to be seen. However, this doesn't seem to be the case with Leonida, as taking a very brief look at the layout shows us a much better map, where instead of having the city and all of the possible businesses, missions, places to purchase items and customize them all crammed into one zone, you can spread them out nicely around the two main areas, those being Port Gellhorn in the west and Vice City Mainland in the east, as well as potentially making better use of small towns like Homestead or whatever they end up naming it, which hopefully ends up better than what Paleto Bay ended up in both single player and online, which had a lot of wasted potential. There's of course the Everglades, which as seen in the trailer not only looks stunning, but also features more wildlife than even Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a plus in my eyes. Not sure if we're gonna be able to maybe hunt some rarer animals, like the legendary ones in RDR2, but it would honestly be a welcomed addition. We also have the Keys all the way down south, which could serve as a spot for activities to take place as well, and would also feature an airfield too. Lake Leonida, which is gonna be similar to the Alamo Sea in GTA 5, could be a spot for underwear exploration and a good location to sneak in some creepy Easter eggs as well. As for the northernmost part of the map, some other renditions, which are heavily based on speculation rather than just material we've actually seen, suggest more than one small town in that area, with also the possibility of featuring a NASA parody called Sarah. Now, with all of this rambling that I just did, I want to emphasize the improvements of Leonida's layout as opposed to GTA 5's San Andreas and Blaine County. Players will probably be encouraged to figure out different methods and paths of traversing the map rather than just go up and down on the highway that circles the map. I'm also hoping for boats to play a significant role and for them to be both reliable as well as enjoyable to drive, similar to the older games that also take place in Vice City, especially VCS, which had plenty of fun missions and side activities as well that took place in the Vice City waters, and obviously required you to take a boat. But something about the physics of boats and sea sharks in GTA 5 feels very off to me. Maybe it has to do with the waves and constantly bopping up and down, but that's just my experience. So again, hopefully Rockstar can address some of these issues and make all modes of transport reliable and fun to ride in, because as of right now, just the potential alone that this map has is massive. Many players, including myself, would also appreciate to see more interiors featured to further expand the lifespan of the game, because realistically, after the initial release of the game, we're looking at a minimum of 7 to 8 years until the next game from Rockstar, which could be anything from Red Dead 3, Bully 2, although many people gave up on that dream a long time ago, or possibly a brand new IP. I would also like to express my feelings about GTA 5 as of the last couple of years. Not sure what the correct and proper word for it is, but I've grown a sense of tiredness whenever I see news on this game. Well, more so the online mode. I've stated in the beginning that I'm not at all a GTA Online fan, and I very rarely hop on the game, perhaps once every couple of months or so. But I find it so frustrating that there has been such a massive gap in between GTA releases. Of course, Rockstar doesn't just pump out GTA content. They were busy with Red Dead 2 for about 8 years in total. And that game was definitely worth the wait as well, considering how after nearly 6 years since its release, there's still content that I haven't seen. So the same case will apply to GTA 6 as well, and it's understandable that as these games become more and more massive, detailed, and feature more activities, it results in longer and longer development times. I think the best middle ground is for Rockstar to consider releasing 1, maybe even 2 single-player DLCs, considering the positive reception of both The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony received back in 2009. It's definitely more realistic to keep things fresh and offer more single-player experiences in a shorter amount of time by making an expansion of the story. I think I've digressed quite a bit from my initial talking point, but I wanted to include more of my expectations and wishes for this game since I've never dedicated an entire video to GTA 6 alone, as I've had and still continue to have other subjects to discuss dedicated to older GTAs and even other games made by Rockstar. The best way to sum it all up is that Leonida's map and GTA 6 itself looks like it will be a much better experience to dive into, and I'm sure that Rockstar took note of both GTA Online's success and elements from older GTAs as well when designing the map. For single player, we're expected to see a return of geo-restriction just like it's been in literally every single GTA before 5. As well as a romantic dynamic between the protagonists, which will be a first time in the series. There's definitely a lot to be excited about, but in the meantime, if you want to satisfy that need for Rockstar's brilliant game design, consider replaying or playing for the first time one or more of their huge library of games they've made in the past. There is something for everyone. And yes, it's ironic for me to say that, considering the huge gap that starts after 2013, but as I've said before, the larger the games become, the longer the development time becomes as well. This has been a fun video to make, and as always, I'm curious to hear your thoughts regarding any and all aspects I've touched upon in the comment section down below. And while you're there, also leave a like. And of course, consider subscribing if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching.